Hey guys, it's Mr. Huyn here with another lesson on factoring. Before we get into our main lesson, our little friendly reminder, if you haven't read the timeline in its entirety for the week, is that we have a unit exam coming up this Friday. So we are on two more lessons today, and Tuesdays are two brand new lessons. Wednesday is a written review. Thursday is an Edulastic review, which is already uploaded, so you can start early. But just giving you guys a heads up that some of the new material that we are going to cover the next 2 days, you might not be familiar with the review. So maybe just start on the Edulastic review on Thursday. So 2 days of review, Wednesday and Thursday, and our test is on Friday. Now, I see that a few of you guys have missed the exam, and I want you guys to know that, there are days you might miss it. I totally get it, or your internet might be a little bit wonky, but you need to make sure that you contact me and give me a heads up. Just send me a friendly message on Canvas, or you can go ahead and email me, and then we can go and get it situated. The makeup test that I'm going to give out is different from the first exam. So I wanted to just make sure you guys understand that, you can delay the test, but it's not going to be similar the first or second time around. You're going to have to take this test, and it may be a little bit difficult, but that's okay. But you got to make sure that, you prepare yourself, you're ready to take it right away. All right, so let's get to the lesson. So today's lesson is going to be on factoring binomials, difference of squares. It's a little bit different from what we did, but not totally different. I would say maybe 5% different. All right, so let's go ahead and start on our new lesson. All right, so for our new lesson, we're going to start over with problem number 13 that's circled in the blue. I know it's, cropped a little bit weird. I couldn't fix it for some odd reason, but I'll rewrite the problem. So number 13 says x squared minus 4. And with the factoring process, I told you guys, okay, let's go ahead and start off with finding the GCF. There's no GCF with x squared minus 4 at all. So the next thing is that, okay, we're going to go ahead and factor using the trinomial. But the thing with the trinomial is that there are 3 terms in a trinomial, but what we see on here is that there are only 2 terms. So that's a little bit of an issue. Not totally. So let's do a quick review. I taught you guys before was that we needed to go ahead and find ax squared plus bx plus c to identify our a, b, and c. Now, our a was always in front of the x squared, our b was in front of the x, and our c was our number or a constant that stood alone, not attached to any variable. But looking at the original problem, there's only 2 terms. Well, I know that my a is going to go ahead and be 1. Why do I know that? Because it's in front. There's no number in front of the x squared, so we're going to apply that it's going to be invisible 1. Now, our b doesn't exist, but we can't just ignore it. Our b doesn't exist because it's not attached to x to the first power. There's no x to the first power in the original problem. So it's okay to say that your b is going to be 0. And then since the negative 4 is a constant that stands alone, our c is going to be negative 4. So we have everything. It's okay to say that your b is 0. From here, do the same x plus o, a times c, and our b, our a times c, excuse me, I forgot to put the negative 4 in that one. So our a times c is going to be negative 4, and our b is going to be 0. So we got to come up, okay, what times what gets us negative 4, but adds up to 0. So you have negative 2 and 2. Those are my 2 numbers. And once I get that, it's easy peasy. So we're going to go ahead and copy our first term. Our first term was x squared. And then our 2 terms, since our variable is x, I'm going to add x inside the puzzle. So that'll be negative 2x plus 2x, and our c was negative 4. And we're going to split the first and second term with our third and fourth term to factor by grouping. And if you look at the first and second term, the GCF of this one is going to be x, so that'll be x minus 2. And the GCF of the third and fourth term is 2, so that'll be positive 2, x minus 2. And since both of them have the same parentheses, since the whole problem has 2 parentheses that are exactly the same, that's going to be my leading factor. And then the numbers the values on the outside, it's going to be the second parentheses. So same process. Now just b is equal to 0 if you don't have that middle term. Okay. So again, first determine if there's a GCF, and then see if you can factor using the trinomial method. And if you have two terms, double check to see if you can use difference of squares. Alright. Alright, last problem. We are going to go ahead and do problem number, I was going to do number 20, right? Let's go ahead and do number 49. I think 49 is a little bit more of a challenge. So, number 49, I have 49 y squared minus 4. Same process, determine our a, b, and c. So my a is going to be 49. My b, there's no y to the first, so that'll be 0. And my c is going to be negative 4. Alright, and then we're going to do our x puzzle. Alright, a times c is going to be on the top, so that's going to be negative 196. My b is 0, that goes on the bottom. So we got to figure out what times what will get me negative 196, right? But will also add up to 0. Right? Now, with difference of squares, the best part is that you should definitely try the same number multiplied by itself, well, positive and a negative value, obviously, and see if it gets you that. So, negative 196, so when you do this, you should get negative 14 times 14. And then, when you set it up, keep the first term, 49y squared, minus 14y, plus 14y, minus 4. I'm going to split up the first and second term with the third and fourth. Alright? And so, now we got to find the GCF of the first and second term. Well, the GCF of both of them would be 7. So that's 7. But then they both have a y, and the smallest amount of y that you can pull out is y to the first. So it's 7y. And then that's going to go ahead and be 7y minus 2. And then the GCF of the third and fourth term, that's going to go ahead and be 2. So that'll be plus 2. And then that'll be 7y minus 2 as well. So now, you see both of the parentheses are exactly the same. But it should also have 7y minus 2. And the terms on the outside are going to be making up my second set of parentheses, 7y plus 2. Alright, so there you go. That's the difference of squares. Get that practice down. I believe you have a good amount of practice to do, which is going to be number 13 to, I think on here, 32, I believe, or something like that. So just make sure you read the timeline, figure that out. Again, if you need any help at any time, email me, message me on Canvas, and then hopefully I can go ahead and do another piece of paper and shoot you a photo of the work that you're not understanding. All right, take care, guys. Stay safe.